Borough fans, welcome back to the Stevenage Football Club podcast. It is episode 11 of season 7. Season 7, my God, tongue twister there from me. And as you can see in the title, today's episode is titled Very Goode. Because, as we know, Charlie Goode went and scored that incredible goal for us on Saturday. And it did end up a 1-1 draw, our first draw of the 25/26 Sky Bet League One season, the most important season. Guys, I hope you're all well. Hope you've had a brilliant week. Again, it's been a week since we've last recorded on the pod. Now, it is just me today on the pod. Me and Anne have been so busy that we can't, we couldn't be able to book ourselves in for the pod. So it is just me today going through things. We're going to take a look, obviously, at the 1-1 draw away at Mansfield, which keeps us fourth place with 16 points. And so I'm so happy and so proud of that, by the way. And we're going to take a little look ahead to a massive, well, I say massive two matches at the end of September. We've got Exeter City this coming Saturday, and then we've got Leyton Orient away to end our second month in this massive season. A great opportunity to potentially, dare I say it, kind of be in the top 3 by October. And who would have thought that, right? Like, I was thinking about this before I'd started recording the pod. And, you know, obviously the goal was to become a top half team, and we created that, right? We created that in the summer. And that's why we created that, and we're calling it the most important season, because that's what we want to achieve and to set us up for the next couple of years of being a top half League One team with this setup that we've got. But what makes me so proud and what's amazing to see is that we're actually achieving that. You know, you look at the table, you see us fourth, 16 points. It's wonderful. And I think what's so nice is, you know, it's not been a case of, you know, we've come into this season and it's not gone to plan. And we're doing a Plymouth, for example. We're having to try and make up time and make up ground for a really poor start. You know, we've had the start that we wanted, and it's all going to plan. And I think that's the nice thing, not just for Revs, I think for the players as well. That, you know, they know that the goal this season is to be in that top half of League One and achieve a finish in there to allow us to be there for the next couple of years. So, yeah, it's amazing to see it all going the right way. I mean, when you look at the league table, right, and you see 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, 16 points out of 21, it's magnificent. And it's my favourite team, guys, my favourite season. But hello to everyone that is watching on YouTube again. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. We've been getting some brilliant feedback. We are going to learn a little bit more of how to edit on YouTube. So it's a little bit more presentable for you guys, because you literally just have to watch a screen on YouTube, and there's no edits, there's no kind of advertising on it. So that's something that we're going to do. And on Spotify, of course, we're keeping our audibles, so you can still listen on Spotify and all the other audibles that we have got. Again, Andy's busy today and he's away. So it is just me doing the pod this morning. We'll get straight into it. It was our 7th League One match of the season away at Mansfield. It was a really good day, actually. Me and a few friends, we travelled up on the train. And it was a really good day. We got the 8:55 train from Stevo. We went to Grantham, changed at Grantham, went to Nottingham, changed at Nottingham, and then got the train to Mansfield. It was really good. I had a few beers on the train. And that was the good thing about getting the train, actually, being able to have a drink. Because I don't normally do that. For matches, especially this season, I haven't really been able to have a proper drink on traveling to a game. But yeah, it was good. Went to Nando's, went to see the team get a big draw. Do you know, actually, I'm a bit gutted Anne's not here, to be honest with you, because if he was, I'd be going, brilliant point, fantastic point, which it was. And I'd be going, no, Farley, it's a decent point. So it would have been good to see and on that scenario. But it was really good. It was me and our good mate Jake, who went up. It was good fun. And it was quite funny, actually, because we went up and Jake, when he was younger, he went to Nottingham University. So we went up And we all started going, well, we've got the train. Should we go out in Nottingham after we watched the team play? And me and Jake were on it to start, and wasn't. And we were like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And this was like a discussion for the whole day. We were planning it. We were going to go to Next. We were going to get some gear to change into. We were going to book an Airbnb, go out and get the train next day, and home the next day. And as it went on and on and on, once the game got done, we all looked at each other and we just went, yeah, should we just go home? And we were heavily delayed on the way home as well, which was a pain. I didn't think we got into about 9:15, given it's only a 2.5 hour journey in the car. Wish we kind of had the car almost, but no, it did end in our 7th League One match of the most important season, 1-1 on Saturday, a massive point. Our first draw of this massive season. Charlie Goode scored in the 70th minute with 20 minutes to go, which was followed by a goal from them by Garner, who scored in the 73rd minute. Again, it had ended 1-1. I'll go through the lineup for us, the statistics of the match, and then we'll have a little chat about it because it was a weird game, wasn't it, this one? But Alex Ravel, only 1 or 2 noticeable changes in the 11. Went with the same kind of back four with the goalkeeper, Philip Marshall in goal, Luther Wild and Charlie Goode, Cole Piagiani and Lewis Freestone occupied the back four, so no change from the win against Wickham. Obviously a massive change from the 5-1 win against Wimbledon in the trophy. The 2 in midfield, Jordan Houghton and Harvey White, again 2 players that have played pretty much the kind of bulk of the season so far. And to be honest with you, have been brilliant, in my opinion. The forward 4 players, we had Jordan Roberts, Dan Kemp, and Phoenix Patterson came back into the starting 11 after that incredible performance away at AFC Wimbledon in the EFL Trophy. And leading the line back from his international stint was Jamie Reid. On the bench, Tasby Hammond, Dan Butler, Chem Campbell, Bez Lubala, Dan Phillips, Dan Sweeney, and Ghassan Ahadme featured on the bench. The statistics for the game were as follows. We had 50% possession. So did Mansfield. So quite an equal amount on possession. We had 9 shots to Mansfield's 7. We had 4 on target to Mansfield's 2. Touches inside the opposition box. We had 27 to Mansfield's 11. Goalkeeping saves. Again, Philip Marshall just making 1 in the match. He's got to be the goalkeeper at the minute in League One with the fewest amount of saves, surely, right? I mean, that's just absurd. Mansfield goalkeeper had 3 to make. We had 9 corners to Mansfield's 3. A couple of distribution statistics. We had 361 passes to Mansfield's 362, so very similar. 66.5% were accurate for us. 69.6 were accurate for Mansfield. We had 48 backward passes to Mansfield's 62. We had 161 forward passes to Mansfield's 145. We had 73 long balls to Mansfield's 68. Successful final third passes, we had 60 to Mansfield's 52. Total crosses in the match, we had 23 to Mansfield's 13. And overall in the game, there were 6 yellow cards, 4 to us, 2 to Mansfield. Look, I think first of all, in my opinion, I thought it was a brilliant little point. I thought it was a really, 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 really great little draw. I thought it was a bit of a weird game, wasn't it? First of all, before I talk about the game, I thought Rebs picked a really good 11. I liked the way that he kept Lewis Freestone at left back. You know, Lou had a brilliant game against Wickham and beat them 1-0. And I kind of like the way that he kind of kept his faith in playing Lou rather than just putting Dan Butler straight back in. It's like, you know, Dan had a knock in this Wickham. Lou was brilliant. But because Lou was brilliant, Dan Butler has to earn his place back. That's the beauty about this squad. So I like that Revs went with that with Lou. I like the way that he chose Phoenix. And look, I've heard a lot of people say, you know, Phoenix is a brilliant player, right? But defensively, he's not amazing. But, you know, you don't play Phoenix for your defensive attributes, do you? You play Phoenix because of his ability in the final third. So I don't care about or mind this opinion on, you know, Phoenix defensively is not great. And Chem gives you kind of, I don't want to say that security defensively, but, you know, he offers that more. I want Phoenix to play for Phoenix's brilliant ability in the final third. I mean, technically, from a technical point of view, he's probably the most technical player we have, probably the best player technically in that bracket as well. You play Phoenix for that. So I was really happy that Phoenix played in that starting 11. I thought the first half was as kind of Rev said, a bit of a nothing affair, a very technical game. The ball was on the floor a lot. We did have a brilliant chance with Lewis Freestone in that first half, and probably if it had fell to somebody else, we probably would be going in half-time 1-0. But I thought we played well. I thought there were moments where we moved the ball really well and got into good areas. I thought there were moments where we gave the ball away easily as well. It was a really odd first half. And I thought Mansfield kind of moved the ball well as well. So when you look at that first half period, I think technically it was a very technical game. And really, you're probably going into half-time, probably going, well, we've had the better chance, dare I say, of that first half period with Lewis Freestone. Again, Jordan Houghton and Harvey White, they've played a lot together this season. I thought they were great. Again, Harvey really impressed me. I mean, Harvey has been a player since we've got Harv, who, you know, a lot of people have said that he needs to improve physically, you know, his aggression and you know, going and winning the ball. You know, having the aggression that Dan Phillips has, for example, you know, having that aggression to go and win a ball and win a duel and win a header and be strong in a challenge. I think those are things that we've wanted to see Harvey improve on. But this season, I think we're seeing the best Harvey White that we've seen. I think he's improved his aggression and having the ability to go and kind of get stuck in. I don't want to use that kind of phrase because we hear it a lot in football, don't we? But, you know, to go and win the ball. But I think his performances have been consistent. I think it's the best season he's having for us. I thought him and Jordan Houghton were great together Saturday, and especially in that second half period where we just needed to keep the ball and create. I thought they were great. Harvey nearly scored in the second half, didn't he? But the second half is where I really want to focus on, guys, because kind of going into this game, for me, the big thing was, and it will be for Exeter and Orient coming up, I want to see us consistently play at the top level of League One, like we're doing, right? Because every match we've played, whether it's for the full 90 minutes or whether it's for the last 30 minutes against Huddersfield or the last 25 minutes against Port Vale, in every match, we have played to the top level in League One, right? And that's what I'm really happy and impressed about. We want to consistently play at that level, right? We've set the bar, but we know the team that we've created, we want to play that top level in League One. Because if we play that level, we're going to get a lot of wins and we're going to get a lot of results, especially against the bottom half teams that can't match that same level. The only games where you might lose if you're playing that level are the likes of Huddersfield away and potentially Luton or, you know, Cardiff, for example. You know, so that's a big thing for me, playing at that top League One level. Second half, we did that completely. I thought we were brilliant in the second half. I thought we took over the game right from the very off. You could see that Rev said to the lads that they needed to up the intensity because it was a very flat first half. I think in the first half you could probably kind of tell that we've had a week and a bit off. And potentially Mansfield have played a lot of football over the last week. It was really weird. So I think we just needed to up the intensity and just speed up by a yard or two. And I thought you saw that. I thought we completely dominated the second half. I thought some of the football was brilliant. We moved the ball really well. We kind of pushed Mansfield back, squeezed them in their own half. It allowed us to get up the pitch and kind of just suffocate them in their own half. And really, right from the second half, we created some really good half chances, didn't we? Harvey White had a half volley, as I've just said, or volley that I don't know how it didn't go in. It kind of skimmed the post, didn't it? Jamie Reid had a couple of moments in the box where we got into good areas. We had a series of corners, one after the other. in a period. I think we had like 3 or 4 corners in a row. We really did dominate that second half period. And when you look at the half as a whole, before I speak about the goals, the gas comes on, has a brilliant chance to win the game at the end, with 10 minutes to go. I think really to win the game, that was the chance, wasn't it? Does really well, creates a bit of space, gets the shot off, but hits the goalkeeper. Good save, to be fair. Goode had another little half chance in there. Dan Kemp got into a couple of good areas, delivered a ball, and there was just no one there. Like, we really did dominate that second half, and I thought we played brilliant. Charlie Goode, by the way, brilliant performance. I think this season there's a couple of players where it's a massive season for, right? And you could say Jordan Roberts, Jamie Reid, but I think this is a massive, even half. I think this is a massive season for Charlie Goode, because Goode has played Premier League and Championship football, right? And really, I think, if I'm honest, I think Charlie Goode is of that Championship level, in my opinion. I think he could play there. But it's a big season for him, because I think Charlie Goode wants to get back to that level. He's had a bit of bad luck with injuries since he played for Brentford in the Premier League. He went to Wigan, didn't he, and was injured a lot of the time. And I think he wants to get back to that level. And I think this is a big season, not just with us, but for him as a player. And I think he's been one of the best players of the season so far. Saturday, in my opinion, he was man of the match. He won everything. I thought his goal was brilliant, the way he just lost his man and bang, flash header. It was great when you watched it at the back of the net. We were kind of right behind it. I read a statistic the other day. Someone can fact check me on this, but I think this is true. He's won the most aerial duels in League One, Charlie Goode. I think that's true. I read it the other day. He's won the most aerial duels in the division. So he's leading in that kind of realm as well. He's been just brilliant this season. And I think Saturday really showed how much of a good player Goode is. He won everything. He got the goal. He nearly scored a second, didn't he? Oddly, for Mansfield's goal. I think Rev said that he should have set Pidge up in his interview. But when you've scored a goal and you're getting an opportunity in the box, you're going to shoot, and he nearly scored. They probably should have hit it a lot better than he did. He was magnificent Saturday. I thought he was brilliant, and that goal was such a good goal. The goal that we conceded, I think it was just we just switched off. I think when I've been there when I've played football as well. When you get a corner and you're 1-0 up, you're on top, everyone goes in the box. You're trying to get a second, because let's be honest, if we get a second in that game Saturday, we go on to win the game, right? 2-0, the game's pretty much done, really, with 15 minutes, knowing the way that we finish games and the levels of players that we've got in our squad. When you're 2-0 up with 20 minutes, 15 minutes to go, really, you're putting your money on that we're going to see the game out. You with these players, you go 2-0 up, you win that game. And we just switched off pretty much. And to be honest with you, and I think this is fair to say, I think you just have to give credit to Mansfield, to be completely honest with you. The way that they scored that goal, really quick, guy gets out, keeper throws it, and they're away, aren't they? I think we said at the time, I think Dan Butler probably should have done a little bit better for the goal. I think he didn't want to commit, because if he commits, he would have slipped in that other player, although we had Jordan Houghton and I think it was Luther who was covering. I can't remember. But when it gets to the point where he's got to the edge of the box, you have to step in and commit. And he didn't. He let him cut inside with all that room. And in League One, you can't do that to players of any side, because they'll just, as Rev said, they'll cut in and punish her. And that's what happened. And what Dan should have done is stepped out, committed, and we probably stopped that situation, because Jordan Houghton's got back. I think Luther's back there at the time. We've got 3 to 4 players that have got back in position pretty much. So, when he gets to that position, Dan needs to commit. He doesn't. He lets him cut in, and it's a good finish, to be fair. But again, after that, I thought we completely bossed the game. And really, there was one team that was looking like they were going to score, and it was us. And I know that they had that, was it a couple of moments where the ball went over Philip. I think the Bez, who we love, come on, blocked one and it looped over him. But really, from memory, that second half period, I thought we were fantastic. We completely bossed. And we had the chance to win it with the Gas, didn't we? And, you know, the Gas scores and, you know, he has that chance on a different day. It goes in and we win the game. But again, second half, really impressive. I thought we were absolutely fantastic. And in my opinion, a great point. It puts us on 16 points, fourth place. Wow. I mean, do you know what? I'll be honest. I'm so happy, guys. I'm so happy that we are in that position. It's just absolutely brilliant. Really quickly, before I look through the league table, guys, I'm going to go through the match reaction from the Stevenage Football Club Twitter page on the matchday graphic from the 1-1 draw. This is what the fans and what you lot have been saying. Lanaway said, good point away from home. Well done, lads. Matt Wardell said, not bad to get a point away at Mansfield. Ross Adkin, would have taken a draw before kickoff. Feel like we should have won, though. Yeah, I agree with that. And to be honest with you, I think we all would have taken a draw before the game. And you know what? I like the draws. It was good to get our first draw. You always remember your first results of a season. You know, the win at Blackpool, draw against Mansfield, loss against Huddersfield. You remember those games. Borough Pinkay said, should have won, even though a draw probably deserved. Awful goal to concede. SFC Kobe said, won't turn my nose up at that. Truly tragic goal to concede. David Valentin said, fair result. And Jamie Holland said, we'll take that. So I think the kind of response, let's put it, from the fan base is a pretty fair one. I think people are really happy with the point, happy with the result. Not going to win all your matches, are you? For Christ's sake, especially in this division, knowing the levels that this division is this season. So I think to get a 1-1 draw, to get a point, in my opinion, I think it's a cracking little result away at Mansfield. We're going to have a little look at the league because it is looking fantastic for us at the minute. There we are, fourth place, 16 points. The top six at the minute, we've got Cardiff City on top position with 17 points. Bradford in second place on the same amount of points, 17 points. You've then got Barnsley in third place with 16. You've got us in fourth with 16 points. You've got Doncaster in fifth with 16. And you've got Huddersfield in sixth place with 15 points. The bottom four of the division, it's looking very bleak for these teams down here. 21st place with 5 points is Reading. 22nd with 4 is Burton. 23rd with 4 is Blackpool. They lost again. And at bottom of the league at the minute with 4 points, who won their first game on the weekend, is Peterborough United. I mean, look, first of all, it's absolutely wonderful to see us fourth place, 16 points. I'm so proud. You know, what a form as well. 5 wins, 1 draw, just 1 defeat. 10 goals scored now into double figures and just 5 conceded it. In my eyes, for what I'm looking at, we have the second best defence in the division. First is Cardiff with 2 goals conceded. We've only conceded 5. After that is Luton with 6. So we have got the second best defence in the division. I mean, it's no surprise when you ever look at Pidge and Goode and how dominant those players are back there. Luther, Dan Butler, you know, even Philip Marshall, who's been brilliant. But it is brilliant viewing. I think the crazy thing for me, and what I absolutely love, is 16 points. That's big. And we had discussions about this on the train on the way home. The big thing about this, guys, right, is we've got 16 points platformed, right? We only need 50 points to definitely get a top half finish, right? That's 50 from 117. I mean, that's under half. You know, that's the form of a 13th, 12th place team, which we think we're better than. In order to compete for the playoffs, you're asking them to get 60, which is pretty much half, right? That's doable for a team like us. Yes, we've got to be excellent, but there is no reason why this squad can't go and do that. I mean, you've seen the level that we've played at. You've seen the results we've had. You've seen the performances. And more to the point, to do really well in League One, you've got to have a lot of depth in your squad. And this is something that me and Anne spoke about after the 5-1 win against Wimbledon last week. This squad that we've got, and in my opinion, and look, people might disagree, I think it's the best squad we have ever had. I think in terms of the real top levels of players that we've got and the amount of top level players we've got and the amount of depth we've got. I mean, do you know what? And bless him, he made a great point last week. You can play 2 separate 11s and still win. That's how good the squad depth is for this season. You can play 2 separate teams and still win, right? That shows you how brilliant the squad is and how brilliant the squad depth is. And I think that's an excellent point by Anne. I think it explains us in an absolute nutshell this season. And you know that with this team, they're not going to, you don't have the squad we've got with the players we've got to get worse as the season goes on, really. I don't think we're going anywhere. And I think a lot of people secretly are probably expecting us to drop down the division at some point and linger around 10th and 11th. I don't think that's going to be the case, because you look at the squad we've got, you look at the start we've had, we're evidently of that top 6 bracket at the minute and could potentially be top 6 throughout the season, dependent on if we keep people fit and yada, yada, yada. But at the minute, we are playing top level League One football and we're showing that we belong there at the minute, right? Now, we've got Exeter and we've got Leyton Orient coming up. They're 2 really winnable games. I mean, Exeter are 16th, Orient are 14th. 2 really winnable games, right? There could be an opportunity where we're sitting here by October with 20 points or more on the board, or, close to 20 points. I mean, for us to not be in the top half, for us to not be somewhat up there, you're probably looking at the team sliding down the division, not winning, as many matches as I believe this team can win. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think when you look at the levels in this squad, when you look at the squad depth, I think we're going to consistently be up there. And I think when we get into October, we're going to be up there. Now, this kind of couple of months, September to November through October, but mainly as we get to November, this is where the league starts to mould together. So you will start to see the league mould together. And if we're still there, then we've got a great opportunity of sticking there the whole season. And to be honest with you, I watch the highlights every single week. I watch the extended highlights of other teams. I do my homework in League One, and I do a homework in the division that we're playing in. We are 100% one of the best teams in this division. I mean, again, at the start, and this is why at the start of the season, I was really, really disappointed with the amount of people that had us down the bottom because of certain things that I just disagreed with, like lack of goals and things. We knew that we created a top half team. We kept all the original players that we know are of that level, your Cole Picciani's, your Jamie Reeds, your Jordan Roberts, your Charlie Goode, your Louis Thompsons, your Dan Kepps, the list goes on and on and on, your Dan Butlers, players that have, some players in there that have only ever played there in their career, right? And we recruited top level players that are only ever used to playing there, right? Jordan Houghton, Chem Campbell, Bez Labala, Jasper Pattenden, Ghassan Ahadme, even Phoenix Patterson and Saxon Early, real talented players that have got the ability to play in that kind of top bracket in the division, right? We knew what we created. We knew going into this massive season that we had created a top half team, and we knew that we'd be doing the things we're doing. And it's a surprise to all these other fans. Oh my God, Stevenage football, it's 4th place, top of the league. I think as a fan base, And as a team, I think we expected to be doing the things we're doing, really, to be complete. It's, look, for me, it's the happiest I've ever been at the start of the season. Like, I'm so happy and I'm pinching myself every day that we're in the top four. But if you honestly ask me, Matt, did you expect us to be doing the things that we're currently doing in this division? I'd be lying if I said no, because we knew what we created. We knew that we'd be in the top half. And we knew potentially at the start of the season, when you look at the fixtures and you see Rotherham to play, Northampton to play, Port Vale to play, Mansfield to play, Exeter, I think we felt that there would be an opportunity where we'd have a lot of points on the board. We'd have beaten a lot of those sides and would be sitting in the position we're sitting in. So as much as we pinch ourselves and as much as we are overly ecstatic of the position we're in, I think we believe we'd be doing the things we're doing. And look, shoot me down. I think this is our best team. It's my favourite team. I love this team to bits. I just love the levels and the quality. I think we're going to be there, certainly to November, because we've got 16 points. If we beat Exeter, which I think we will, 19. If we get a result at Leighton Orient, which I think we will, that's over 20. We've got nearly half of 50 points. That will keep you in that top 10 for all the way to November, pretty much. So I believe we're going to stay up there. I disagree with people that think we aren't. And I don't think also, when you watch football, you go off evidence, you go off facts, you go off statistics. I know a lot of people do. All the evidence suggests that we belong there. I mean, we've won 5 matches out of 7. I'd like to think we'll have 6 wins out of 8 on Saturday. We've got the second best defence in the division. We've got 100% home record. We haven't even conceded a goal. We haven't even conceded a shot at home. All the evidence and the levels of performance that we're playing and the way that we're dominating, the amount of matches that we're dominating, suggests to me that we belong up there. Obviously, look, it's still early, it's still September, but you go off evidence, don't you, and what we've seen. And what we've seen already suggests to me that we're going to be in that top bracket. We do move on to our 8th Sky Bet League One match of the 25-26 season on Saturday. Unbelievable, by the way, 8 games. I mean, I remember being in Spain, guys, and we still had 2 weeks of the big kickoff, and we were preparing. I still remember that, and it's just absolutely flown by. We play Exeter City on Saturday. Again, we are currently in 4th place with 16 points, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Exeter are in 16th. They've played 8 games. They've won 3. They've got no draws, and they've lost 5. They have lost their last 2 matches consecutively. They've scored 9 and they have conceded 9 goals. Geez, I think these next 2 matches are the biggest for us this season. I think if we get results from these 2 games, or the results that we think we'll get, if we get those results, the position that we're going to be in when October starts is truly unbelievable. I think for me this Saturday, and I've said it a lot this season, I said it before Mansfield, playing the top level in League One, really important to do that again on Saturday. Because if we play like that Saturday, we beat a team like Exeter. I think Exeter are tipped to be down the bottom. I think they will be. I think they'll be fighting to stay up, in my opinion. I think I was one of the people that had them to go down. I think Ad was as well, when we did our 1 to 24s at the start of the season. So really, for me, at home, I think we'll win Saturday. And again, the most important thing for me, playing to that top level, as we've done for the opening 7 matches. Play to that level, and you beat your teams like Exeter, and you even beat your teams like Leighton Orient, in my opinion. So I really, really want to see a dominant performance on Saturday. I think in terms of the lineup, I think, look, there's all sorts that you could do with it. In my opinion, I think the home matches are really good games for Phoenix Patterson to play in. I think, really oddly, played him away on Saturday. I think away from home, if you've got the argument of Chem being better defensively, you probably play Chem in those away matches. But at home, with the fact that we're at home and how dominant we are at home, I think Phoenix is a player that you probably play a lot in that final third. So for me, I would pretty much keep this line up exactly the same as Saturday, in my opinion. I mean, looking at it, I mean, I've written down here on my MacBook, I've gone Philip Marshall in goal. I think that's, you know, pretty confirmed. The back line that I've put down, Luther, Charlie Goode, Pidge, and I've gone Dan Butler for Saturday. And look, I think Lewis Freestone's been great. I think he's been brilliant. But I tell you the one thing that I think we missed on Saturday away at Mansfield, and this is why I want him to play, the delivery in the final third. I think defensively with Lewis Freestone, you get this kind of solidity on that side of the pitch, don't you? But just the one thing that Lou doesn't give you on that side of the pitch whenever he does play left back is the ability to get forward and deliver. And I think at home, Dan Butler definitely, with his delivery, with the way that he does like to get forward, and he's a really good player from a left back position when he gets in those final areas. I think Dan Butler should play for me. Like if you ever look at the goal against Rotherham that Reedy scored, Dan Butler gets forward, great delivery into the box. You have that. So I think for me, I think Dan Butler should probably go back into the 11. But look, Lewis Freestone's been excellent. I think for me, I've typed on here in the midfield, Jordan Houghton and Harvey White again. I like this little partnership. These two have been playing brilliantly together right from the opening day win against Blackpool. Harvey's improved his aggression, and technically he's been wonderful as Harvey is as a footballer. And Jordan Houghton, that has been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to watch this season and watch him play the way that he's playing and distributing the ball and just showing his championship level really, and his experience, class and quality. So I think for me, I think those two start again. Again, you can bring Dan Phillips in for that aggression. But what I've seen of Jordan and Harv so far this season has been really good. And I'd really, really like to see them play together. The final four, I've put, obviously, Jordan Roberts, who's been just wonderful. Dan Kemp in the 10. And I've actually left Phoenix on the left for the point that I made earlier. I think at home, with his quality and ability, I think those are actually the games where you're going to see Phoenix excel a lot. So I think, look, in my opinion, I think Phoenix Patterson is too good of a player not to play. And it's really difficult, right? And again, this is why this is my favourite squad and favourite team and favourite players. Yeah, we're sitting here, we're talking about Phoenix. You've got Chem Campbell, who's been brilliant this season. He's been brilliant, Chem. He's got himself a goal consistently. He's played a consistent level over the matches he's played. I thought he was brilliant in the opener against Blackpool as well. He's been fantastic, and he's such a top player at the level, Chem. But Phoenix is so good technically. And do you know what? I'm going to make a point here. And I'm going to stick by the point I'm going to make. I think in terms of his technical ability as a player, and I'm on about Phoenix Patterson, by the way, as a player, I actually think he could potentially be one of the best players we've ever seen at the club. Well, certainly over the past 8 years. He has got this similar sort of style to Ilias Chair, where he picks up the ball in the wide area, and the way that he moves the ball, the way that he has trickery on the ball and delivers the ball, he somewhat reminds me of that player. And I think Phoenix has got the ability to play up the levels. So I think Phoenix Patterson, in terms of him as a player, could potentially be one of the best players we've ever had at the club. I love him. I think his quality on the ball, the way he moves the ball, the way he moves with the ball, his trickery and awkwardness on the ball, the way he sets things up, his delivery on both feet He can go on both feet. I think that's the beauty about Phoenix. He gets the ball, he can come in and shoot and deliver. He can go on his left and shoot and deliver. He's such a magnificent player in that wide area. And I just think, from what I've seen of him, I mean, look, we were all there at Wimbledon that night. I mean, the right back, I think, didn't even know what his name was. That's how much he was bamboozled by Phoenix. I really think Phoenix has to play. So I just can't not have him starting. Does that make sense? I have to have him starting on Saturday against Exeter. And more to the point, Exeter are a decent side. Phoenix is going to have a field day on that left wing against Exeter, running at people, creating, delivering, contributing. He's going to have a wonderful afternoon at home. So for me, Phoenix plays. And Jamie Reid, of course, through the middle. I think that's my starting 11. I think the only position and player that I'm changing is Dan Butler for Lewis Freestone on Saturday. And really, again, play to the level that we've played at the whole of this season. With those group of players, I think we'll win pretty comfortably on Saturday. And do you know what? I really want to see a dominating top performance where we really, really put Exeter to the sword and kind of show the levels of difference from ourselves, who are a top half team, to your Exeters who are going to be down the bottom. I've got to be honest, guys, I'm feeling a 3-0. A 3-0. It comes to mind. A few goals, really dominate. Kind of that crowning moment almost when, you play to that level, you win, you go top. I mean, we could go top. And by the way, I forgot to mention when I was talking about the big point of Mansfield, we were top at Mansfield again. We did go top for a bit. So to go top outright would be just absolutely wonderful for me. Now, we are going to be doing, and I know that we haven't been doing them of late, but we're going to really start getting into them, match preview episodes. And we have got John from one of the Exeter City podcasts coming on Thursday night, and that episode will drop on Friday. So we're going to find out a little bit more about Exeter City. So we have got that match preview episode going. But I'm going to go 3-0, and I really want to see a dominating performance. Now, we're going to take a quick look at the fixtures in League One this Saturday and have a little look at them. This is... And I'll be honest, guys, we have got a great opportunity of going back top. By the way, it's just absurd, isn't it, to say back top after 8, like in this league. Like, honestly, the happiest I've ever been watching this team. I'm just so happy at the minute to see us so high in League One and having the season we're having. Honestly, I ain't stopped smiling since the opening day win at Blackpool. I mean, heck, I ain't stopped smiling since Spain, to be fair. But the fixtures, as we know, we've got Exeter on Saturday. In League One, Blackpool v Barnsley. That's a really big game, isn't it? Because obviously Barnsley are up in 3rd. And Blackpool, what's happened to Blackpool? I mean, actually, that opening day win looks pretty comfortable, really, doesn't it? Considering what Blackpool have turned out to be. We've got Bolton v Wigan again. What a game! Local derby, that game. 2 teams near each other. Lincoln v Luton again. What a game that is! I mean, those 3 games are huge games. It gets even bigger. Cardiff City v Bradford. 1st v 2nd. What a match! I mean, those 4 right off the bat. What a match. 1st v 2nd in the division. I mean, who'd you side with there? I mean, Bradford have been brilliant. I mean, they beat Huddersfield on Saturday, didn't they? Just what a game that is. Cardiff. I think Cardiff are the only undefeated side at the minute in the division. So what a match that is between those 2 teams. Doncaster v AFC Wimbledon, Huddersfield v Burton, Plymouth v Peterborough, Port Vale v Mansfield, Reading v Leyton Orient, Rotherham v Stockport, obviously us versus Exeter, and Wickham versus Northampton. The fixtures look wonderful this weekend. I think the one thing about the league at the minute is it's still really open, isn't it? If you have a look all the way down from 10th, 12 points to 17, you're separating 5 points. Well, actually 11, 5 points from 11th to top. I know it's still very early in the season, but I think for me, looking at the division, obviously you've had your standout in Cardiff at the minute, and I think Cardiff are going to be up there. I'm still not set on Bradford. They've had a great start, but I just don't think they'll be there at the end of the season. But look, Bradford have got a very good side, haven't they? When you look at some of their players in the squad, and obviously Valley Parade seems to be a little bit like it is for us at home this season, a real place where they're picking up a lot of their points. But I don't think. I think Bradford is going to be one of those teams that's had a brilliant start, but just slides down the table a little bit. And I'm not saying Bradford are going to be down the bottom, actually. I think Bradford, similar to us, I think they've got a top half team. I think Bradford will slip down to about 8th or 9th and will be around there. I don't think they'll be as high as they are. Barnsley as well. I'm not. I feel like Barnsley are a bit hot and cold, aren't they? It's weird because they've got exactly the same form that we do. They've got 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. I'm just not set out on Barnsley. I think Barnsley have always got a 3-0 loss in them. Does that make sense? Where they lose a game by a few. And I feel like they've got that in them, Barnsley. I'm not certain they'll be there. I think Huddersfield originally were a team that I had in the top 2, but they've lost 3 games now. Huddersfield, they've got no draws. They've lost 3 games and they've let in 11 goals. I mean, just to put this into context, guys. So from 9th place up to 1st place, Huddersfield have conceded the most amount of goals. They've conceded 11. Us and Cardiff are the 2 that have conceded the fewest, but they've conceded 11. They've conceded a lot from 8 games. So I still think Huddersfield will be up in that top 3 bracket. But what I'm trying to say for the division, it still seems very open. I mean, you've got Luton Town, who are in 9th place. I mean, I had Luton winning the league. They've had a dreadful start. They've lost 3 games out of 7. I mean, they've had 3 losses in their last, 6? Lost half their matches over 6 games. I mean, they're not having a great season at all, given the squad they've got. So it seems very open. I think, if I had to predict, I think Cardiff are going to be right up there. I mean, they're showing no signs of slowing down. I don't think Doncaster will be there. I don't think Bradford will be there. And I'm not sure Barnsley will. I think you'll eventually see Luton climb the division. I think you'll eventually see Huddersfield climb a little bit higher. I think you'll potentially have Cardiff, Luton, Huddersfield. I think that will eventually evolve into the top 3. And then maybe, are we there? I mean, maybe do we stay around there? Maybe potentially with the squad we've built. I think looking at it, I think personally for us, I think we've 1,000,000% got a top 10 team. I say top half. I think we've got a top 10 team. When you look at our squad and you look at the football that we've been playing, the level that we've been playing. I mean, you look at the squad as a whole. I think top 10. Wherever we fall in that bracket, who knows? When you look at teams like Wigan and Lincoln, I don't think Wigan will be a team that finds himself right up there. I think Lincoln have got a very good side, but again, I'd be consumed to thinking that Lincoln will probably finish anywhere from 12th to 9th, in my opinion. I think Lincoln have got a good side, but I don't think they're of that top bracket, in my opinion. I think they're just below it. So I don't think they'll be really, really high, but they have got 15 points on the board. So, and they've won half of their games. So they're, and I think they're unbeaten in their last 6. Lincoln. I don't think Lincoln have. I mean, when did Lincoln last lose? I think Lincoln's form, I might be wrong. I think they've got a win, and then I think they've drawn 3 games and then won. So they haven't lost in the last 6, Lincoln, to be fair. So It'll be interesting. But I think one thing that's for sure is we're going to see the mold of the division start to come together over the next few weeks, and this is why the games are so important for us. We're really quickly going to do our questions section on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. This is where we like to designate a little section to the fans to send in their questions to see kind of what you guys have been asking. So it's really, really important to do this. We did get a couple of questions. I'm going to try and fly through a couple of them before we end the pod. First question was sent in from Ben, and Ben is asked, if you had to rate the squad's performance out of 10 for yesterday, I'm assuming the 1-1 draw against Mansfield that Ben's referring to, what would it be and why? I think I would give it a... It's weird because I thought second half we were brilliant. I thought, in my opinion, I thought second half performance, you're up in the eights. But overall, I would give it a 7. I think a 7 out of 10 for the performance in the 1-1 draw against Mansfield. I think that's fair. I think a 7's a good score to give that. I thought second half we were brilliant. Dominated completely, deserved to win the game. We just couldn't take the chance with the gas with 15-10 to go. And the first half, I thought we were good, but we could have been a lot better. And I think that was shared in Revs' review. I mean, Revs said 2 points dropped, didn't it? I don't think that. I think it was a point gained in the game. Whenever you draw a game away from home, or even draw in general, you've gained a point. You haven't lost to in terms of where you were and you've lost to. You've gained a point. So, it's a point in the right direction. So, yeah, I would give that a solid 7 from our game. Next question I've been sent from Chris. And Chris has asked us on the Stevenage Football Club podcast, after seeing our opening 7 matches, what are your boys' thoughts on the team, how well the season's gone, and where we could potentially be in a position for the whole of the season? Thank you for your question, Chris. Wow. Look, I think we've been absolutely wonderful. Again, we knew how important this season was. It's the most important season, and we've created a top half team, a new era and a new journey to become a competitive top half team in this division. And we created that in the summer, and it was the start of this new journey. And I think we've been brilliant. I think we've done all the things that we wanted to do. We wanted to be straight in that top bracket, winning the majority of the games that we've played, scoring goals, because we believe with the final third that we've got, that we'd contribute a lot this season, and play to the level that we're playing. So for me, I think it's been a terrific start, magnificent start. I mean, look, the stats are there for everyone to see. It's our best ever start in the EFL. I mean, that's, look at all the teams that we've had in the Football League. This is the best start and the best one we've had. So that just goes to show how brilliant this start has been. In terms of can we stay there, I think I said it earlier, I think we will. I think a lot of people are expecting us to slowly slip down the division. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think when you look at the squad we've got and you look at the players and you look at the performances and start that we've had, I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that we're going to slide at all. I mean, heck, Jamie Reid's joint top goal scorer at the minute. You've got that as well. So I don't think there's any evidence. And I think we're going to be well in that top 10 bracket, in my opinion, whether we're in the playoffs and we've been able to consistently keep these performances together, or we've slipped down to 9th and we're around that level. But I certainly think we're going to be in the top 10 and staying up there, in my opinion. Last question we've got is from James SFC. James has asked, player of the season so far. Wow. Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Well, Jamie Reid won player of the month, didn't he? And I think that was deserved. Oh, man. I think it's difficult to go against Jamie Reid for the fact that Reid is the top goal scorer and the joint top goal scorer in the division. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think Charlie Goode. I think Charlie Goode, in terms of performances, I think for me, I think it's Charlie Goode for player of the season so far. Obviously, you've got Pidge, you've got Dan Butler, who also I think is brilliant. You've got Harv, you've got Reed, you've got Roberts, you got all of these players, Luther. But I think for me, Charlie Goode, I think he's been up in terms of, again, the performances. I think Charlie Goode. There isn't a game where I look and go, oh, Charlie Goode hasn't had a good game here today. I think Charlie Goode's hit an 8 out of 10 every game that he's played. Opening day against Blackpool, thought he was brilliant. Rotherham, Northampton, brilliant. Port Vale, brilliant. I thought he was fine that night. I thought he had a really, really good game. It was just a mistake for the first goal from Philip Marshall, wasn't it? But I think generally he was brilliant. Huddersfield, brilliant. Wickham, brilliant. Mansfield, brilliant. I thought Mansfield was his best game, but for me, his level of performance, they've been so consistent. I think Charlie Goode is my player of the season so far. But again, Jamie Reid at the minute, 5 goals, top goal scorer. The goals he scored, some of the performances we've seen. I think Reid, he has to be in that top 3 or top 2, but I would certainly go them 2. But Charlie Goode, I think, for me at the minute. Guys, thank you for your question. We did have more, but we are running out of time. Thank you so much for sending in your questions on the designated fans section on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. Guys, we have come to the end of the pod. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to my boring voice again. We will be back on Friday with a match preview episode of the Exeter City game. And then we will be back normal days from Sundays onwards. We've been a little bit all over the place recently. So we'll be back on Sunday reacting to the result against Exeter, and we'll be looking ahead to Leyton Orient on Saturday. And we have got a couple of new guests joining us on the podcast on Sunday, and there's going to be a few new things that we're going to be doing on the pod as well. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Fingers crossed the boys can go and get a big result against Exeter at home on Saturday. Who knows? We might be top of the league. We might have to call the pod on Sunday top again if we win and go top. Who knows? Even a point can put us joints up, but, fingers crossed. We'll be back on Sunday. Stay tuned for all the content this week. Thank you so much for supporting. Make sure to go and give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube. We want to try and get the subscribers over 100 and build that platform as much as possible. So thank you so much for contributing to that. Have a lovely rest of your week, and we will see you next Sunday after the big win, hopefully against Exeter City. Guys, have a lovely week. At this time, as always, you have been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.